Hey everybody, Steve here from Longfin Technology. Today we have our stealth hitch right here in the box for that BMW M3 behind me. It's a 2018. We're gonna go through what it takes to get this hitch installed from start to finish and how easy it is. It's supposed to be pretty easy. We're gonna try it out. All right, so cracking open the box, we've got two sets of instructions. I guess if you have yourself and a partner maybe. We have the operating instructions for the accessories, which is cool. And then we have the hitch inside this box. It's nice. There's no styrofoam, +1 for that, which is great to have a little less trash in the world. Everything's cardboard covered here. So it looks like we've got the actual hitch frame itself, and then you've got the attachment here for the quick release component. This is the 1.25 inch, and then they give you a set of keys too. So all in all, pretty straightforward, pretty simple kit. Looks like it shouldn't take too long. We're just gonna have to get the rear bumper off. Oh, I see what they've done here. They've got two sets depending on if you're just doing rack or toe. Cool. So this is the rack. So that's the one we have right now. Very few tools, no drilling required, which is great. And it says 2 hours. So we'll start the clock here. It is 12:43 p.m. So a little bit of a snag. This step right here, step 3, you've got to take these bolts out, and I have mud flaps on mine. So you can see the tail lights out. That was easy. So these mud flaps have a longer Phillips head screw. So I need to take my wheel off to be able to get those screws out. But otherwise, you could probably do it with a regular wrench and socket and not have to deal with taking your tire and wheel out. All right, so I got the 12 screws out from down below in step 4. Now we're going to look at step 5, which is push down on clip and pull the fascia outwards. So let's see if we can see this clip. That looks like it here. I'm gonna have to get a flashlight and look at it to make sure I'm doing this right. All right, so my heat shield was being a little bit of a pain to try and sneak out of here. So I actually took the bolts, or excuse me, these nuts off with the deep socket first. I'm gonna pull this guy off and then take the heat shield out next. And I'm actually gonna skip a step here, and I'm gonna cut the heat shield first so I can reinsert that before I put the bumper and hitch on, just so I can get it done and out of the way. So it looks like you have to cut in the center. This is definitely a little bit tricky. This stuff is super duper sharp. If I don't get cut by this, it's gonna be a miracle. So I'm going to find some gloves, and I've chosen to kind of go off this guide and go a little bit bigger, just so that I know that it's gonna fit right the first time and I don't have to get back in here and trim stuff. And plus, there's also additional heat shield up there already, so it's all right if it's not exactly perfect, as long as it's big enough to accommodate that hitch. All right, so with the heat shield cut, I put it back in place. And so I'm gonna do a dry fit here to see how this looks. Alrighty, so we're all reattached. I did have to trim this heat shield just a little bit. I trimmed a little bit more and just rolled it back. You can kind of see it there. That's no big deal. I'd imagine that once the fascia bumper gets put back on here, these are gonna have to just be played with a little bit just to make them look a little better, just because they're kind of floating in space here. But anyway, the heat shield, it needed to be pressed in just a smidgy here too, to allow the rack, or the hitch to clear. Same thing on this side. So I just took a ratchet and just dented it, just to allow clearance for the hitch. But all in all, I bolted it back on. It's nice and solid, pretty easy to do. We're gonna attach this and then reattach everything else. All right, so we got these all snug. These are 15/16 they say. I don't have a socket that big, so what I did was I just used 2 adjustable wrenches on either side. It was kind of a pain in the ass, but it got the job done. Once those are nice and snug according to your torque specs, you can drop your receiver in and just make sure that it all fits good. It's nice and snappy. It feels really solid. I mean, if I pull on this, the car is moving, so this thing's not going anywhere. It's a great fit. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the bumper and see how it looks. All right, well, it has decided to thunderstorm, so this has made things a little bit more interesting, but we're pretty much done here. So that's the look without the hitch adapter installed. Super, super clean. I mean, you can't tell it's there at all. So the moniker of stealth hitch is definitely true. There's the attachment point. Here is this piece that just slides right in there. And we'll do that. That's nice and secure. You can see you've got your little latch right in here to sort of disengage it and drop it down out. So it's really accessible, which is great. And I mean, it's like super, super easy to take this thing on and off. I need to put it down because I need a second hand, but I mean, once you flick that switch, it engages and that's it. I mean, doable by one person, no problems at all, super easy. I'm gonna put it in and put the rack on and see how it looks. Incredibly clean, super easy to get on. Definitely don't need to take it anywhere. Do it at DIY all day, as long as you have the tools. What do we got for time? Look at that, almost 2 hours on the dot. And I had the extra step of removing these wheels, which I still have to do to put my mud flaps back on. So maybe for me it was more like 2 hours, 10 minutes. But what a great system. Yeah, super impressed, really happy with the quality. Definitely gonna keep these guys in mind for any future vehicles I have. Very, very sharp, straightforward installation. All right, so all in all, pretty impressed actually. The install, 2 hours and change, no breakage, nothing broke, no plastic clips, no lost or dropped hardware. Yeah, really, really easy in the grand scheme of things. Great job of instructions from the guys at Stealth Hitches. And yeah, I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying this so far. We'll see how it rides when I put a bike on there. But easy on, easy off, no problem, no hassle, no theft, because it's got a key. Should be pretty great. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.